something's wrong. I feel it circling like vultures round my brain. Couldn't see the danger in your eyes. Draw me in, got me spinning now like water to a drain. You were perfect till I realized you hadn't shown your face. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along, a siren serenade. You're ringing out your praise. Your love's a wreck and you know it's wrong. I was deaf to the ringing bells, wanting me to break, deafened by the sirens' soothing lies. I can't leave, I am in too deep, been sinking for a while, prisoner to the same thing I despise, devoted to a fake. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along, a siren serenade. You're ringing out your praise. Your love's a wreck and you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along, a siren serenade. You're ringing out your praise. Your love's a wreck and you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory.
You might see me as weak.
But I will show you what lies behind my eyes.
done here?
Not even close.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are live a little bit earlier than planned. Of course, you can hear Mick making some food in the background because we got caught off guard.
I will turn the mic off.
we got caught off guard a little bit here because when we set this stream up, Xbox had the extended showcase scheduled for 30 minutes later than it is now. So it's actually been pulled forwards by half an hour. Originally it was 6 o'clock UK time, which means the stream would start at 5:30, but now it's 5:30 start time for the show, which means we've had to go live 30 minutes earlier, or at least attempt to get live 30 minutes earlier. So we're still waiting on people turning up. It might be a case of very last minute, only like 3 of us sitting here when we go live, and then a couple of others trickle in. Yeah. It's going to last until about 6 o'clock. And then after that, of course, I go into the post show. But for all of you interested, there is another extended showing separately for Forza, who are doing a deep dive on their gameplay. So
Separate?
Yeah, separately.
Well, after this show?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
No, maybe that's why they brought it forward then.
Possibly. You never know. But
Was that already planned, or was that just happened today?
happened yesterday. I think yesterday or the day before, one of the two. Can't remember which. But yeah, I'll have everybody in chat. Any more? 2 seconds, I'll read that properly. Any more indie games? Yes. Yeah, I think we'll see more indie games. I think we'll see a few second party and third party things today. Last year we got things like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and things announced, so yeah, I'd expect something in similar vein. Again, I expect a couple of other little surprises like that, so it should be fun. Should be fun. Mick, what are you looking forward to today?
I am looking forward to hopefully seeing more of that South by Midnight.
Ooh. Yeah.
I didn't, because obviously that thing we saw the other day didn't really show us anything other than just the sort of the art direction and, you know, it was difficult to say what that was. Let me turn the camera back on. Yeah, it was difficult to say what that was exactly. Anyway, since then, I've heard that it is actually a third-person action adventure game. So.
Yep, first-person action adventure set in the deep south. They've actually got a blurb up about it now. It's you essentially curing these monsters of kind of they've went insane or they've went wild or something like that. So you're going and curing these beasts, and there's a big story that goes along with it. So that's what she was doing in there. She was using her powers and abilities to cure this giant monster that she's been tracking down.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds interesting. So, bit of luck, we'll see some more of that.
Yeah.
Forza afterwards. I'll be watching that.
Yes. There you go. We got another one.
No.
Hello. It's a last-minute fucking rush around here.
Yep. I had to quickly rush around and wash up after dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it would be nice if we got. Because a lot of the complaints that I've seen on a lot of the podcasts, even though expectations were set by Xbox, that it was going to be mostly in-game stuff with some gameplay and some, CGI mixed in, some cutscenes. But the complaint they all keep saying is just didn't see enough gameplay. And I get it, but everyone was told that.
Yeah.
So,
but they also.
Nice
another thing. People want, and this is because now people are just like stretching it a bit more. And I've got to be honest, People don't like seeing things when they can't see a HUD, a heads-up display.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel to them like gameplay, even though it's gameplay. Fable being the key outlier there. That was gameplay. There was key gameplay moments in there. There was fighting, there was fireball throwing, there was Chase running through fire, there was getting thumped by that giant thing, there was running away from it. Kicking the chicken, that was all in-game, that was actual gameplay. It was just, because it didn't have a HUD, people were just like, that's not gameplay. It is gameplay. They had to tell you it was gameplay, and on an Xbox Series X. So I understand people want to see what it looks like in a controller, but don't, please, for the love of God, people, don't keep pretending that this stuff isn't gameplay, because it is. And you're only going to shock yourself even more when you come round to it and it launches and it still looks like that. The difference is it has a UI, even though having seen Fable without a UI, I hope you've got the option of just switching the HUD off, because I'm just going to be playing it like that. It looks
I think a
strange,
lot of like that problem happens is because in like the past, in like when E3 was still a thing and Xbox were doing their shows as part of E3, they typically would have someone on stage playing the game for games like, for instance, Gears.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they've had people on stage playing Gears and other games.
Yeah.
And that's
all
like
the
been a
way
thing
back
that's
to Halo.
And that's the thing as
that's
well,
been a
though,
thing
like
that's
that's
sort of disappeared over time.
that's the difference between what E3 was and what these showcases are, because E3 was a trade show. So for them, what they wanted to do is go out and show people how it worked physically, and treat it like more of a trade show for investors. So they would have people on stage doing demos, as they would if you're going after the show and they're saying, "Oh, we've got hands-on for people who are here to play." I think that's how they're kind of treating, or were treating, what the E3 conferences were like in the past, where they'd have someone go on stage and play a bit of Forza, or go on stage and play a bit of this. And now it's more, right, okay, well, we know it's now more aimed towards the gamers, not investors. So we're going to aim it towards that. And by doing that, we're just going to focus on putting out cool trailers, as opposed to putting out like physical sit there and play hands-on stuff.
Yep. I mean, it goes all the way back to Halo, doesn't it? When we saw Halo on stage. But if you go back and watch some of those programs, when they talk about when they were doing that, that was one of the most terrifying things they ever had to do at every show, because the chance of something going wrong was high. So, and then if it does go wrong, you've got to live with that. Everyone's seen it, especially in this day and age where the internet is way more prevalent. Social media is infinitely more than it was back then. You put a trailer out, or you put somebody on stage showing off the latest game, and it all goes bad. Quickly. Within 30 seconds, it's a meme, and it's all over social media. So,
well, look at the backlash Halo got when that was first shown off.
Exactly. Craig.
And how much like a disaster the pop-ins and all that was. People like ridiculed that game on Twitter not even 5 minutes after that gameplay had been shown. And then the Craig meme came out of nowhere.
Sorry.
It's all right. Go on, Jen.
Yeah, that was pretty much what I was just saying. Like, it's a bad showcase of gameplay is ridiculed so quickly on social media, especially like before, when social media wasn't such a big presence during these events. Like now, people are like live tweeting during events like this, so they're giving their opinions on things as things are going live. So it's within seconds, people were ridiculing games that have a bad like showing, and that we saw that with Halo Infinite when it was shown in the showcase.
Yeah.
Before the Xbox was supposed to launch? I think it was, and then it was delayed.
Yeah, I know. It's to be fair though, and this is what people don't understand, is especially there was one guy that tagged me and he said, "Yeah, but look, this was in-engine on Halo Infinite." I said, "Yeah, that's in-engine. They didn't say that was gameplay when they showed that original in-engine thing off. That was in-engine. there were assets they could use, and it could have been like that. They could have styled it like that, like they showed off originally, but they chose not to. They obviously chose a different direction. So when they showed off the gameplay, first of all, the first showing of the gameplay didn't look like, in terms of moment to moment, it looked fun, but visually it wasn't great. Yeah, but visually it wasn't great. So then they took a step back. They refined things. It looked much better when it launched visually. It actually looked really good when it launched. Still does. Still looks like a great game. It's not current gen by any stretch of the imagination, though, and you can tell that. But that's the difference between in-engine and in-game. In-game is everything that is there, and the one good thing I like about what they said on the not Venture Beat, the Matt Booty anyway, and Phil Spencer had that conference. Well, the sofa chat with Jeff Grubb on Giant Bomb. That's the one. The Giant Bomb interview is they said, "Listen, we're not asking our teams to create new assets just for the trailers. We're saying, okay, what have you got that is ready from your current build that you can show?" So everything that was shown at this showcase is from current builds of the game, using stuff that they're using for the games as it stands. So a bit like South of Midnight, the devs have said, that's the style we're using for the in-game as well as in-engine. So that's the style we're going for. And it's good that they come out and said that now, because we've got clarity on that. Yeah.
It's not something we're sitting there and going, is this what the game's going to look like when it actually comes out in a year or two's time?
Yeah. Yeah. And to be fair, a lot of people thought it was like a frame pacing issue with Midnight as well, because it's got what's called a stop motion animation. So it's completely different to what people have expected. So people are like, why does it look like it's dropping frames when she's moving and stuff at times, and it looks a bit jaggedy? It's like, no, because that's actually the way that they're animating it. Stop motion.
The way it comes across is it's like claymation.
Yeah.
I get claymation vibes from it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a wee bit different. But I'm glad. And again, the Fable guys have come out and said, no, that's in game and that's running on an Xbox Series X. And then Phil Spencer, when asked by Jeff Grubb, well, even Jeff Grubb and his co-host said, yeah, but we didn't see gameplay for Fable. And Phil Spencer went, what made you thought that isn't gameplay? He said, that's gameplay.
It literally said in game.
Yeah, he was like, no, that's gameplay. He was like,
Boxy's here, by the way.
Oh. There we go, rushing around like blue horse flies.
What
Boxy.
up? What up? You're stressing me out.
I'm stressed out. I'm stressed out.
Everyone by surprise. I was rushing around as well to get here.
I'm furiously running around trying to do tea for me and the kids.
Yeah, we've got 5 minutes, Mick. 5 minutes you've got to finish that.
I'm all right.
We'll get Gordon Ramsay on you. Come on, this isn't quick enough.
You're an idiot sandwich.
Yeah. What are you?
have they pulled that date forward? Wasn't it supposed to start at 7?
Yeah, it was supposed to start. Well, yeah, 6 hour time. 7 your time,
for me, yeah.
Yeah. I just checked before when I turned it on. Ready.
I'm supposed to have the stream for that up. I totally forgot.
Oh yeah, if you can post that for me so I can pull it up as well.
Yeah, I literally turned it on, ready to kind of set everything up, and it said 5:30. I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean 5:30?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it will start then, or if it is just, I don't know, like 30 minutes of pre blah blah or trailers repeat summary. I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm literally like, okay, I just go into Dutch's pre-show and then I set everything up.
Yeah, I think I caught everyone off guard. We were like, what?
Yeah, I was like, what the
hell?
I'd literally just finished eating my dinner and I was just starting the washing up and I was like, shit, I've got to get this done quick.
Yeah.
So, world record time washing up.
Okay.
I've literally had the washing in, so the washing will just be finishing, so I'm gonna have to put the washing back on again when I've finished. So fun times.
You sharing your gaming room with a washing machine as well, are you?
No, God, I wish. It's downstairs. I have to go back up and down.
Oh, you don't wish. It's a pain.
Yeah. To be fair, mine would shake the room apart, I think. I think it's an 8-litre drum. It's an 8-litre drum, so it's a big one.
When we're doing this.
Yeah.
You see Mick's camera bouncing up and down.
Yeah, me. So yeah, quick ones then. Quick ones. Boxy, what are you looking forward to the day?
Hellblade and Avowed, of course. I mean,
Yes.
that's an easy thing. No, but seriously, besides that, I always like the interviews of the smaller ones. I sure hope we get an interview with an Exile, for instance. I want to learn a little bit more about Clockwork. I would love that. And today and yesterday I had the chance to watch a lot of different podcasts and reactions to the show, which I obviously did not have.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people criticizing this Xbox showcase for not having enough heavy hitters. Because people don't consider in an Exile game a heavy hitter. They don't consider the Compulsion game a heavy hitter. And while I do agree that, of course, a Fable packs a different punch than South of Midnight.
I disagree with In Exile completely. Yeah, In Exile is a whole nother ball.
And even maybe in Exile, people underestimate those games because yes, a Wasteland. I get where they come from, because a Wasteland 3, was their last big game. Didn't set the world on fire. And the makers of Contrast. And
there's a 30-minute countdown. It's a 30-minute countdown. Why? Why?
Jesus, you stressed me out like that for a 30-minute countdown.
Heart attacks, man, for nothing.
Jeez. Okay, we can relax, guys. We can relax.
Right, let's chill then. Thank God.
Let's chill then. All right. So yeah, but man, I do get where they come with this angle. Yeah, a Compulsion, Contrast, and We Happy Few. Yeah, indie games. I get it. I also get In Exile to some degree. While I do agree with you, Dutch, that this game will be absolutely awesome. And at the end, it really doesn't matter whether a game is a indie, a AA, or AAA game. Yeah.
In Exiles was Clockwork, right?
Yeah.
Clockwork, yeah.
That looked amazing. That really gave me so many Bioshock vibes.
I understand why people... I kind of understand why people underestimate them based on Wasteland, but then in the same breath, if you have a look at the art style, and yes, they're not the same kind of games, but if you have a look what the team behind Diablo do with the same kind of art style as Wasteland, where it's just top-down isometric. One of them's more of a tactical game in Wasteland, and the other one, of course, Diablo is this hack and slash over the top. But if you're just judging them based on those values, on the fact that it's an isometric top-down game and it doesn't look like next gen, then you're gonna completely underestimate what the team can do. So
exactly, and people even came. I'm serious, dude. I listened to, I want to say, at least 6 or 7 different podcasts today. People and yesterday, So sometimes I didn't finish them all. I just wanted, you just jump in, listen there an hour, there an hour. Exactly. I want to understand and I was seriously surprised. Even people don't consider About a heavy hitter.
Yeah,
they criticize the graphics, and I get it. About doesn't look like a true next gen experience. I get that, but I don't expect that from an Obsidian game. But sometimes I wonder if people have played these games. Have they played an Outer Worlds or a Fallout New Vegas? Yeah,
that's the problem with like those types of big RPG games. The graphics are not always, the focal point.
Yeah, exactly. And so, what do I expect today, Dutch? That's what was your question. I distracted a little bit.
It's all right.
The thing is, I expect them to, explain a little bit more either Compulsion's game, In Exile's game, and why we should be excited for those games, and why those games can become those heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Not all of them will be. I seriously, I don't think that Compulsion, the South of Midnight, is going to be considered like a major AAA release. But that's not what we need. What we need at the end of the day are fun games. Hi-Fi Rush is not a heavy hitter. It isn't. Absolutely not. Yeah. But
The
was it
sequel
an
has a
awesome
chance to
game?
be, though.
Yeah.
Not a heavy hitter, but a sequel has a chance to be a heavy hitter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say that based on the results from it, they've got every possibility of having that sequel now, because I don't think they expected it to do as well as it did.
And it was really like, I was so surprised. And it wasn't just one podcast. It was on multiple podcasts. I've heard people say this. And Corey C in the chat, shout out to you, dude, says it correctly. All of them will be AAA. They built the studios up because they wanted to be AAA and make that jump. And that's exactly the thing. That's the point what Xbox tries to do with the studios. It's when people talk about organic growth. I see way more organic growth in the Xbox roster than anywhere else right now in the industry. Seriously. They buy studios like Compulsion, they made games like Contrast before. And now they have the big budget to go out and make South of Midnight, whatever it's going to be. They built an In Exile, and In Exile is beloved by the community, just like Double Fine, beloved by the community, by the hardcore community. And that's the thing. And they make those, they develop those studios to a level, where they can become those studios that make the heavy hitters. Yeah. The same goes for Undead Labs. State of Decay 3, trust me, is going to be on a completely different level than State of Decay 2, which was, by the way, fantastic. Yeah. And so I was a little bit surprised, because at the end of the day, I look at this like this. Man, we got in one showcase Forza, Hellblade, Starfield, Fable, and Avowed, and Fable. 5 heavy hitter first party games. Yep. On top of that, we got the surprises like Star Wars Outlaws and and what's Capcom's game, Path of the Goddess. We got games like that as well, heavy hitters. Of course, you will have your South of Midnights, the AA experiences that strive to be more. But at the end of the day, what more do you want than Xbox showing off 5 heavy hitters? So I don't get it. I really do not get it. I get other criticism. I get if people said, okay, I didn't see gameplay for Hellblade, I didn't see gameplay for Fable, I know that it was in engine. I know we talked about it, but at the end, that's a criticism I understand. But telling me that they didn't show up with enough heavy hitters, I'm not sure. We must have watched a different showcase then. There was that's my expectations for today, that we get some infos on those kind of games, on South of Midnight, and if it's not that, we get In Exile with Clockwork, whatever, something to explain why these games matter. And that's the extended showcase for me, I also, of course, want to see Avowed. What is the ambition? What is Avowed trying to do to separate itself from the game everyone's comparing it to, Skyrim? I want to see what is that Obsidian formula. I want to see that. And of course, with Hellblade, I want to see Senua swing a sword, dude. I want to see and
not just like a 2-second clip of her going, "Hua!" and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
So that's my expectation. Probably not all going to be fulfilled, of course, always. But I look at these extended showcases, and seriously, they had them twice now. And last year, I liked the extended more than the actual showcase. I didn't like the actual showcase last year at all. I think I gave it a 5.5 or 6 or something last year. So the extended was actually really good. I'm looking forward to it, because I know that the in-depth stuff is not for everyone. Not everyone wants to listen to interviews and wants to learn how games come together, and things. But I do, and so I'm really looking forward to this now. Yeah.
What about
But
you,
I
Jen?
hand the mic over to someone else because I have to prepare a little bit the post show. I'm sorry, you stressed me out.
Oh, I got stressed out.
Today.
Xbox stressed me out.
Xbox stressed us out. Jesus, what are they doing with us?
Jen, what about you? What are you looking forward to seeing today?
Are we going to see more Avowed here?
Yes, Avowed and
Yes,
Hellblade.
confirmed. I'm out. Hellblade. Yeah.
As Avowed is my most anticipated game for next year, I just want to see more of that.
I think I want to see kind of with Avowed. I would like to see kind of whether or not there's like a classes system, or do you have a class between like someone who's more sword wielding? I can guarantee everyone has magic because, of course, that's part of the story. It seems. So everyone's got kind of these magic abilities, whatever it is. But I want to know what about that, like what is that about? Why do you have these magical abilities? They kind of touched on it in the trailer, but not really. So I want to know whether or not it's class system or different. Is there a creator character? Is there a couple of different races that you are? What is kind of a little bit more of the different aspects of the game itself? Is that kind of what you want to see there as well, Jen, or what are you looking to see?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't expect to see anything character creator wise just yet. Maybe if they have a developer direct, whether it be later in the year or sometime early next year, that's where I expect to see something character creator wise. Maybe just a little bit more of an exploration on why this main character you play as is so feared by the other characters in the world.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nothing I can think of immediately. I mean, I get huge Skyrim vibes for it.
Yeah.
And I just want something that can, take over
played
that Skyrim
Pillars?
feel. What was that?
Have you played Pillars of Eternity? So are you familiar with the lore?
I am not. No, this will be my first experience in that world.
So you're in for a treat because whilst Pillars had really its issues, especially the first one when it comes to gameplay, it was like chunky and it wasn't really well thought out at some points. But the thing what Obsidian always excels at is storytelling, world building, and implementing their RPG mechanics in that world. It all feels very natural. You can say the same thing about Outer Worlds. Yeah.
The choices in Outer Worlds.
The choices and the way also how your character levels up and how you choose your skill style feels very natural in that particular world. And that's where they excelled. Pillars 2 felt way better, the gameplay and everything. But the world of Eora is such a fantastic lore.
Yeah.
It is really, I cannot wait for them to introduce that properly, and I hope that they do that today.
Yeah, it's one of the. I was going to say it's one of the things that people originally got super excited for Avowed for, because they're like, we can see this world, this lore, in an entirely different light. Like it isn't just this what Pillars was, which is again it's a kind of a top-down game again. It's an entirely different kind of aspect, an entirely different style of game. So to be this Skyrim-esque world in the world of Eora, it's that's what people got excited for when originally finding out about Avowed. So it's gonna be.
I'm most excited for it because I feel like because
Elder Scrolls is
the Elder Scrolls games are going to take so long to get to, even when like the next Elder Scrolls game comes out, the one after that is going to take a long time, and it's going to be nice to have something separate from the Elder Scrolls world, but can also fill that missed opportunity of the next game taking so long.
Yeah. And it's going to take a long time because of course Todd himself said, listen, we're not starting like full development on Elder Scrolls until Starfield is complete. And it probably won't even be like immediately after its completion. Like when it's out in the wild, it's going to be a couple of months, and then they're going to go, right, okay, now we're starting on Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah, because they're going to be working on content for Starfield.
Yeah,
There's
they'll
bound to be
divvy
a
out a
number
separate.
of DLC expansions.
Yeah, there is an expansion. I did notice that as well with the deluxe and premium edition. There is an expansion there. I forgot what its name is actually, but there is an expansion to Starfield planned.
Yeah.
Todd also mentioned that in his interview with IGN, that they have already one story content DLC planned. He also talked about the length of it. He was asked, okay, in between Fallout 4 and Starfield, 8 years. That is the longest period in between two games he directed.
Yeah.
Where will we be playing Elder Scrolls 6? Is it gonna be on this gen or next gen? And he said we never planned to take that long, but who knows these days? And he also said that's probably gonna be his last Elder Scrolls game.
Shattered
He's
Space.
not getting any
I
younger.
expect it to be huge then. If it's going to be his last Elder Scrolls game, it's going to be
Yeah,
huge.
that's what I also assume. So it's at least 6-7 years out. It has been we have to take the fair point. They have multiple teams. He confirmed that as well, and it has been in pre-production for a while. But that doesn't mean that it's gonna come out soon. So I would assume at least 6 years, 7-8 years is absolutely possible. So we are talking here really 29, 2030, something.
Yeah, I think
in
it's
that ballpark.
you know what it is. I think it's going to be maybe that 5 to 6 year region. The only reason I say that is because unlike Starfield, which was an entirely new IP for them, it was not only is it a new IP, but it's not a style they've ever done before. It's not a world or something that they've ever tried before.
Yeah.
And Elder Scrolls isn't 1,000 planets.
Fair.
Elder Scrolls is one big singular area, not 1,000 planets. So it's probably the new engine. The turnaround time might be far quicker.
I was going to say that. Yeah,
Far quicker. I mean, it's took them a decade to make Starfield. Officially, around about a decade to make the game from original inception through to where we are now, including a delay that Microsoft essentially enforced them to take. As Phil Spencer on the Giant Bob interview kind of said, he said, listen, when we took them over, the release date was actually meant to be earlier than that, and they'd already delayed it internally by a year. So when we took them over, and we then delayed it by a further year, it was like, so it was. He said, if we didn't step in and tell them, listen, we want you to take all of the time you can take to make this the best thing you can make, they would have released it way earlier, and it wouldn't have been anything like we've got now. So thank God.
Also, on the point of the next Elder Scrolls, I'd imagine they've learned a ton through making Starfield.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Taking that knowledge and putting that into their next game is going to be huge. And I expect them after Starfield launches, they will likely go back, look at their engine, see what needs to be adjusted to make the engine better, and then they'll likely start full work on the Elder Scrolls game after they've done that work on the engine they need to do adjustment-wise.
I mean, I do hear everything is both said, Dutch and Chen. Two things though. First is they're not going to use the same engine. If that game comes out in 8 years, they cannot use the same engine. So
no,
they will have to
iterative version of it.
It will be the Creation Engine 3.0 by then. So that's one thing. The other thing is you're right. They have the benefit that it's that it's a well-known IP. Yeah, but that also comes with challenges.
Yeah,
because you have to respect the previous games. You have to respect everything that they introduced in story content in Elder Scrolls Online, and that is a massive amount. So you have to kind of respect all that, and then still be able to come out and say, okay, this game is the biggest game we've ever done, because they always say that. Yeah, Fallout 4 was bigger than Skyrim, and Skyrim was bigger than Oblivion, and Oblivion was so. and naturally Starfield is bigger than everything we've done before, and the next game is going to be bigger. That doesn't mean maybe in sheer surface you can walk on, but
dungeons and whatever it was.
Dungeons, amount of lines, storylines, of amount of curated content, so not procedural generated, because the most part in Starfield is procedurally generated.
And I get the feeling as well with Skyrim, because at the very end with Skyrim, you kind of have these dragons on your side and stuff like that, and I get the feeling that they would have loved being the Dragonborn for you to be able to get on that dragon and fly it around and stuff. So these are things that could potentially take it into the next Skyrim, and how
you could do that at the end.
Yeah, exactly. At the very end of the
after
game.
The very end of the game, I was flying all over Skyrim.
Yeah.
So
but that's a thing that I think they would love to have done much earlier, and I think obviously having much greater technology now, they'll have a much bigger area to explore. Makes a bit more sense.
Dragons was a DLC, right?
It was, yeah.
It was a DLC, yeah. So my point is, and I think Chen said it earlier, if that's Todd's last game, Elder Scrolls 6, by the way, it is not his last game. It is he said it's probably going to be my last Elder Scrolls game, because he was asked about a Starfield 2. That was the original question in the interview. Then they said, okay, so next is going to be Elder Scrolls 6. And then I want to do a Fallout 5. And if I have enough time left by then, we're talking Fallout 5. Realistically, we are talking here 12 to 15 years from now. That's, just the thing.
Come on, I'll be 50.
Time, he's 70.
I'll be 50 myself.
70 plus. Yes, of course. I always said Fallout 5 is probably going to be my retirement game, you know. And that's the thing. Okay, no, of course I have to.
I'll have severe arthritis in my hands by that point and have to take like long breaks.
So, and if you would then want to make another Starfield 2, whatever, we are talking here a time span of 20 years, and so naturally Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be his last game. So or last Elder Scrolls game. So, but since Elder Scrolls is kind of his baby, you know that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be nuts.
I wouldn't be surprised if Elder Scrolls 6 spans multiple locations, not just Skyrim.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the learning experience of them making multiple worlds in Starfield, they'll utilize that with the next Elder Scrolls, with you being able to travel from land to land.
Yeah.
The DLC for Starfield was called Shattered Space, by the way.
Ah, right, okay. Nice. It already sounds intriguing.
Going back to what you were saying, like the engine's just like, this one is the creation engine 2, and it's the first time they've used it.
Yeah.
And I know Boxing said they won't be using that; they'll be on the 3 by then. And you laughed, and I thought the same thing. It was like, probably won't be on 3 by then.
Yeah.
These engines seem to take quite a while for them to. They usually pump
it'll be like an iterative version of Creation 2.
It'll be along the lines of 2.5 or something like that. Yeah. Like a middle transition between engines.
But going back to that though, the hard work has been done building this new version. Now the small updates are easier, so that should hopefully speed things up a bit. We shouldn't be quite as long. So. Oh
yeah, they'll be able to work way more efficiently with this new version of their engine. And now that they know how to use it.
Depending on how user friendly they've made it, there's always the potential of them having another team come in, be trained up how to use it, and then work on spin-offs, or maybe even have a separate Fallout team and a separate Elder Scrolls team, that sort of thing. So. They're going to grow, aren't they? They are now. Certainly now they're owned by Microsoft. They've got the finance. So, but there'll still be those key people that are key to those games, I think, working in those teams. So I hope it isn't as long as we think.
Yeah.
for something like a Fallout. You know.
See,
Me too.
I'm not. I know you guys love Fallout. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
I'm not the biggest fan of Fallout either, but I did enjoy 4,
Yeah.
which I'm told is the worst one of them. 3 and
Yeah,
3
New
and
Vegas
New
is definitely
Vegas
better.
But I've tried to go back to them and I can't seem to get into them. So
That is my problem with Fallout as well. I've never completed a Fallout game.
Shout out to
I always get
Asa.
too distracted by side missions.
Shout
And then I
out,
come back to the main missions and I'm burnt out.
shout out to Asa in the chat there. He says Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be built entirely using their own modern tools on a planet in the Starfield universe. I
would not be
I would
surprised.
not be surprised. You just like you zoom in, fly into space, and all of a sudden you're just landing by castles and dragons and stuff. You're like, what the fuck's going on here? Well, welcome to Elder Scrolls, by the way. You're like, okay, bye.
my lad said the other night, it's like, you know how everyone had to leave Earth, it says in Starfield.
Yeah.
Because they talk about we thought you were the only one, we were the only people that escaped Earth, one of those missions says.
Yeah.
And he was like, I wonder if you go back to Earth, it's just Fallout.
Yeah.
It's just a nuclear wasteland.
It might
and then
be.
Essentially, there's your Fallout. You go back to Earth and you've got Fallout.
Yeah, it's Fallout 5 in Starfield.
Yeah.
Starfield is just a connected universe now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you land on one of the other planets and it's the world of Tamriel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like time travel, because technically you're in that age of kind of traveling through space and time. So, a connected universe built in Starfield. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
You step out your ship and then all of a sudden you're getting first row guard by the Dragonborn.
Yeah. Oh, dear
Alduin the dragon flying around in space, just attacking your ship.
What is this metal dragon you're in?
Oh, dear me. We went right off the train here.
Oh, yeah. We're going crazy. We might as well. We've got time.
You know full well the modding community are going to build it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be insane seeing the modern community go to wild on Starfield.
How long have we got left?
6 minutes and 1 second. 6 minutes on the dot.
Oh, okay. You seem to be a little bit further ahead than me, because that says 6:12 for me. So
Try refreshing it.
We might have to synchronize again.
Yeah, try refreshing it quickly. See what you get up to.
6.
Yeah, 6.
Okay, I'll pause it. 2 seconds. I'm going to stop at 5:30.
Okay, I'm on 5:50 right now, so.
Right, paused at 5:30. Everyone pause at 5:30.
Oh, the Gollum people are off again. Gollum games for life.
Everyone paused at 5:30.
I'm still 34, 33.
Right, 5:30. We're like 20 seconds behind.
Right.
All right.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, and play.
Go.
There we go.
Happy days. There we
So
go.
within a second of each other, probably.
That'll do.
I don't know, like we all, for some reason, the streams kind of speed up on different ends. So, like, we all were on the right time when the big show was on, and then Boxy ended up ahead. I was like, how did that happen?
I don't know. And I was
Boxy
like,
was
really
like,
I don't know, 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, Boxy was like, aha! I can't say.
At some point, I actually paused the stream again for a couple of seconds and then continued because I noticed I was ahead of you, but then it happened again. I have no idea. I do time travel, dude.
Oh, dear me. So what's everybody else in the chat looking forward to seeing today? Of course, we're seeing a bit more of Hellblade. We're seeing a bit more of Avowed. Is there anything else people are looking forward to? No, Asa just wants VR to be confirmed for Starfield. I think he'd wet his pants if that was the case.
I will say this, that would actually get me interested in VR. That would make 2 games, Half-Life Alyx and Starfield. Still not enough, though. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. It's the same for me. Far too limited.
Unless there was a really good headset for about 100 quid.
Asa says, I will kill pretty much whomever I need to for VR Starfield. Yes. I know you will, Asa, but not me. Thank you.
Even Gaz.
Yeah. Oh God, Glenn, come on. Come on. That's more of a wish list than it is a realistic possibility. He says GTA 6, Metal Gear 6, Resident Evil 9, and Shenmue 4. Those are dream games. Asa says Gaz for free. Not even for VR, just in general. Asa just says he wants some easy hooks in for the modding community. I think there will be, to be fair. I think there will.
I think the modding stuff will come later.
You never know. You never know.
So,
And to be fair, as people have stated there as well, when the mods do come on, I think it'll be immediate on PC. I think the modding thing might be a little bit for Xbox, but as Corey points out, I wouldn't put it past somebody in the modding community for consoles to try and get a 60 frames per second patch or mod working.
I have no. If they bring mods to console, that will most certainly happen.
Yep.
It happened for Fallout 4. It happened for Skyrim. Before Bethesda patched those games, so absolutely.
Do you think? Here's the last one. We've got 2 minutes before we go. Do you think they are possibly
3 minutes. It says 3 minutes 24 on mine. Have you jumped ahead again?
No, I'm on 1 minute 52. One.
What?
Yeah.
Why does mine say 3
same.
minutes? 3 minutes 16 then?
Did you accidentally pause it?
Because no, he switched tabs, and YouTube sometimes does that. When you switch the tab, it stops the stream.
Right.
So
Close it
So
down
we
and
can-
open it back up
Do
again.
it again. Can we get down to the last 10 seconds and then we'll do it then? Or 30 seconds.
What are you on
Do it
now?
again.
have you,
like-
what
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
refresh your browser, dude.
Yeah.
Refresh your browser. 3 minutes is far too way off.
I have changed tabs though, so I think you're right.
Yeah.
110.
Yay!
Yes,
You're right
okay,
on
so
target
then,
again.
Then you're in sync.
Yeah. Right on target again. Happy days.
It's
Yeah, do you think we're going to
1
get...
minute, 59, 58,
Yeah.
57. So yeah.
Do you think we're going to
Alright.
get one more Starfield mini direct before they launch?
No,
No.
I don't think so. They showed so much already. Like it was like 45 minutes of Starfield
Yeah.
content.
I think we will get Starfield related announcements before that, but they don't do a direct show. They haven't shown everything. They will
Yeah.
still have announcements, but I don't think we will get a direct for that.
Quickly
will.
before it starts, I saw that the people who are making the watch, the stuff for the Starfield thing, is actually the Wand company that make they make that one the remote control wand for the Harry Potter one. That
Oh.
does your telly and stuff, but they also make like Star Trek stuff and Doctor Who stuff. So it's supposed to be really good company. So that was
Nice.
good news.
Hey, right on time.
I know. I was trying to get done before I finished that.
Yeah, we.
So
Oh, yeah.
who's the angel, who's the devil, though? That's the real question.
Cyberpunk
between
to
Solomon
start?
and Johnny.
I'd like to think
Yeah.
I'm always an angel.
Oh, this isn't in 4K though.
No,
No,
it's not.
no.
Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we will. It's just a scissor reel in it.
Yeah.
we know how long this extended showcase is?
About an hour.
Hour and a half.
Is it hour and a half, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Xbox Games Showcase Extended. My name is Tina Amini, and I'm here to dive a little bit more into the games you saw at our recent Xbox Games Showcase. Showcase featured 27 ambitious games, all coming to Xbox. Games like Clockwork Revolution from inXile Entertainment, Fable from Playground Games, and from our partners, Star Wars Outlaws from Ubisoft Massive in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, and Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess from Capcom. Today, we'll take a closer look at some other games from our showcase lineup and introduce you to some more games too. We've got the game director of Avowed from Obsidian Entertainment breaking down the game's trailer, and the game director of Hi-Fi Rush from Tango Gameworks is here to tell us about their newest update. You'll also hear from Sarah Bond, head of the Gaming Ecosystem Organization for Xbox, who will tell us more about a program to bring games from underrepresented developers with unique visions to Xbox and Gamepass. And we may just have a few other fun guests in store for you too, so stay tuned. But first, let's check out the rainy streets and sinister markets of Cyberpunk 2077: Phantom Liberty.
Hello everyone, I'm really excited to welcome you to this exclusive Xbox store over Black Market, one of the locations in Dogtown that you are going to be able to explore in Cyberpunk 2077: Phantom Liberty. As you can see, Dogtown welcomes you with an open arms.
Oh, this isn't even fidelity mode, this is performance mode.
This is Black Market, a location where you as a player, as a mercenary, you can obtain unique cyberware and weapons, things that you cannot find anywhere in this world. Dogtown is a part of Night City, but has its own very distinct look and vibe. It's outside of the jurisdiction of NCPD, attracting all kinds of eccentrics and dangerous characters.
Radical mods, June. Never seen anything like that on a non-maelstromer.
You mean this? Ain't seen nothing yet. Check this out. Or this here.
We have put a lot of work into making the world feel more alive. Small scenes, secrets to find, Easter eggs, make this place feel more vibrant and more believable.
Maintenance accessories.
But what's inescapable in Dogtown is Kurt Hansen. Kurt is a leader of Borges militia who rules Dogtown with an iron fist.
You've come to the right place. NCPD, gang wars, not in Dogtown. Taxes, who the needs them? In Dogtown, I keep your business safe as long as you abide by my rules.
A really nice guy, as you can see.
I thought so.
The Black Market also is a place where you can find new illegal weapons and goods. They are some of the most powerful items in the world, but are often much more dangerous to use. A new cyberware capacity system, which leads you to push your body to the limit and gives you new abilities to deliver more thrilling gameplay experiences, like the air dash or the ability to see the enemies through the walls, or change your appearance to lose the heat. The Borges is the authorities of Dogtown, and they are more dangerous than NCPD. When you as a player commit crimes...
Someone from us has an echo in the background.
Might be me.
We have
2 seconds.
completely overhauled the police system. Police actions are more believable, dynamic,
Is that a bit
and
better?
diverse. The team has been working
Yeah.
passionately to deliver you more deeper and meaningful experience, and I really cannot wait for you to find out more this September. See you in Dogtown.
$24.99 I noticed on the store this.
I feel bad for that Phantom Liberty update because
We're not done talking
It
about
won't
CD
have
Projekt
access.
Red's next dive into the story between V and Johnny just yet. In fact, we're here with the voice and stylings of Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves himself. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise. Well, Phantom Liberty introduces us to an entirely new location in Night City. It's called Dogtown. It's this devastated place. It's controlled by a militia. But I think you know more about it than I do. So how would you describe it to players?
Night City has its own kind of levels to it, and I think Dogtown is kind of going down to a darker place. It's dystopian. It has a tension to it and this undercurrent of kind of violence, you know, like, and struggle. You know, can I swear?
Yeah.
Shit's gone down in Dogtown.
Oh, I like that tagline.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, I mean, hopefully it'll be fun for people to play there.
It's hard to believe that there's an underbelly to the underbelly
Yes,
that
that's
is Night
good.
City, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm a little
yeah.
scared, but in a
Yeah.
good way.
No, it's a good way. I mean, we're all kind of drawn to, we're all moths to the flame, aren't we? And there's a lot of flame in Dogtown.
Well, if anyone can take it on, it's V, so that certainly
Yeah.
gives me the confidence.
Yeah, V's a survivor,
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
you know?
And we just saw a tour of Dogtown, too, so we got a little bit of that
Oh, cool.
ambiance, and we can see what the environment is like. People are getting beat up. It's not good.
It's, yeah.
It's not the friendliest place to be. You gotta be prepared for it, truly.
Yeah.
But in our tour, we also hear a recording from a Colonel Kurt Hansen. Who's this guy? Because he seems pretty dangerous, too.
Yeah, that guy. No, I can't say that. My inner Johnny came out.
I mean, that's
I might slightly be ahead of you now.
Yeah.
I'll pause a
I
second.
mean, he's ex-military, military too, ruthless, power hungry, manipulative, and Johnny doesn't like him.
I could see that. I mean, Night City in general is the kind of place that breeds that kind of character.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back. Let's talk about Johnny as a person instead of this horrible person known as Colonel Kurt Hansen. I don't know about this guy, but people like Johnny, and I think it's interesting because we know him to be opinionated. He's radical. We've seen that in Cyberpunk 2077 in the Man campaign, but as we get to know him, he's got a sensitive side too. He can actually be quite caring.
That's what makes it so much fun. He is outspoken. He's a little grumpy. And he has a right to be. He's been used, he's been abused, he's been abandoned. And I think that through that kind of hardness of his outside, there is a vulnerability to him. And I think what's great about it is I get to play that character in so many different ways, and so the range of it is cool.
And especially for the player, you get to see these moments in flashbacks. You start to understand he's a product of his upbringing, truly, of his surrounding.
Well, let's not get carried away. I mean, we could start talking about nature and nurture. I'm sorry, I keep dropping into Johnny. But, yeah, I like his anger.
I love this guy.
I
honestly.
like his
How can you not love
passion.
Keanu?
Like what he stands for.
It's just impossible to hate
He's really
this
just
guy.
looking for a fair shot. And I love that he's kind of going through music, that there's an artist side to him. And, you know, I got some great speeches.
There's all these moments with Johnny where a tiny little thing, elicits this really fun response. You can flip him off and he double birds you back. Like, I love those kind of moments.
Or rock.
I think another interesting lens of looking at him as we get into Phantom Liberty is his dynamic with Solomon Reed. So what can you tell me about Johnny's relationship with Idris Elba's character?
I think Solomon has some things in common with Johnny in the sense of the military,
Actually surprised
the
he
sense
didn't
of
have Idris
being
on
used,
stage.
abused.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the title, right? They're fighting for a liberty. You know, Solomon's kind of trying to reclaim his life, you know, and Johnny's doing the same thing. You know, it's Cyberpunk 2077, so it might start off as revenge, and it might end as revenge, but I think sometimes he feels like he's lashing out at the wind, you know? And I think Solomon has been living out in the kind of the desert of his life, right? Kind of hiding and harboring.
Yeah.
But I think he also has that kind of soft and hard side to him as well.
Oh, Tony in the chat. I'm not going to read that out. But yeah.
So as someone who's very familiar with thrillers, because you've starred in a few, what do you think about Phantom Liberty makes for a good spy thriller in particular?
Yeah.
The quest to understand.
I just saw
what's
Tony
going
said
on and the kind of scavenger hunt of information, the mystery, the double crossing, what is true, what's fiction, what can you count on, you can't count on anything. That is really kind of amplified.
Well, thank you so much for coming out to another Xbox presentation. You've got a lot of fans out there in the Xbox community, so I think I can speak for all of us in saying we really appreciate you showing up here today.
Oh, well, thank you.
But before I close things out,
Yeah.
I know
well,
that you
before
want
I
to
close
ask
things
that.
out, I'd love your help here, Keanu. How do you think Johnny would end this interview right now?
Well, there's a lot of ways you could do that. But, Tina, pleasure to meet you.
Oh, is that how Johnny would do it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Johnny.
Nice to see
such
you.
a pleasure to have you. I thought you were gonna kick down the camera or something. So.
No, you see, he's respectful. You know, you're a good egg.
Oh, thank you. You too. And I'll see you out there again soon.
She's never washing that hand again.
Interesting. Didn't expect to see this again for a while.
Oh, DLCs.
What was that?
Yeah, he's shooting freaking laser beams. That was
This is like a horror DLC.
drunk.
It is, isn't it?
Ion knife.
I'm so sorry for dragging you all into this.
Yeah.
The world you think you live in doesn't exist. It's a pantomime. Theater.
What's this?
And if you get a glimpse behind the scenery, the stagecraft, you'll discover nothing but darkness. And once perceived, it will swallow you whole.
Oh no.
I'm in a race against this darkness. A race to locate an
It's an
ancient
XCOM
ruin,
type
a
game.
tower of unspeakable power.
Yeah.
I need the best of the best. But they're all dead. So I'll use you. Scoundrels, thieves, cutthroats, the best of the worst. Oh, come now. Try not to look so glum. You're going to help me save the world.
What point is me?
The Tower of the End of the World.
Not for me.
Gamepass Day
Yeah.
1. October 3rd.
When it comes to RPG studios, Obsidian Entertainment is among the very best.
Avowed.
From Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Pentiment, Obsidian Games have placed their stamp on the genre.
Joining us today for a closer look at Avowed is game director Carrie Patel. Carrie, I'm so excited to have you here. We just saw this big reveal of Avowed, and there's so many little bits of information in there that I want to dig out and pick your brain around. But before we get into all that, I'm assuming that you don't need to have played Pillars 1 or 2 to really get into Avowed.
You're absolutely right. You don't need to have played Pillars 1 or 2. You can come to the world of Avowed fresh. We want this to be a welcoming experience to new players. But if you are a returning fan, there are some recognizable tidbits.
For people who have played Pillars 1 or 2, can you tease any more of just those general connections to the universe? And no major spoilers, of course.
Yeah. There are a couple returning characters that players might recognize from Deadfire in particular. Players who have played the original games will recognize some of the parts of the world and some of the factions. The Adirian Empire plays pretty heavily into the world of Avowed, so all of that will be familiar to returning players.
We do start to see some of that Pillars universe now in the Avowed setting, which is really exciting, and it's looking amazing so far. But can you confirm one thing for me? Are we still in Aora?
We're still in Aora, and specifically we're in a region called the Living Lands. So again, returning Pillars fans will recognize the Living Lands as this otherworldly frontier. It's very remote. It's relatively unknown. It's this very dramatic landscape full of all of these different valleys with these unique biomes and creatures, just a really unique visual perspective. And it's a wonderful frontiersy spot that's set for adventure. There's a lot that's undiscovered, and so that's the part of Aora that we're introducing players to in Avowed.
And we also see a character talking to us in the trailer. He seems like he might be a companion, because that would be a very Obsidian thing to do. So what's going on with that?
Yes, this is Kai, and he is one of the first companions you meet in the game. He's an Mwmu. That's one of the unique species of the world of Aora. And Kai as a character brings a balance of this really battle-hardened perspective. He's seen a lot. He's served as a soldier and a mercenary, but he also has a really unique sense of humor. So he brings a spirit of levity and camaraderie to the party as well.
And as he's talking to us, he's also kind of conveying, well, he's straight up saying that he's afraid of you and your abilities. But it's not like the heroes are the only powerful beings in this universe. So I'm curious what that means for who we are as the player character. Are we a watcher again, like in Pillars 1 and 2? Or maybe we have some connections to the spirit realm and beyond that gives us these terrifying abilities?
So you're not a watcher this time, but you do have a unique soul connection to the world that gives you a connection to the Living Lands and to some of the more mysterious forces at work there. The player is also being sent as an envoy of the Adirian Empire, and so they come with both a very mysterious aura, but also a certain sense of political urgency.
Kai also mentions a plague. That's another bit of detail that we get within the trailer. We see a very concerning growth on a lot of the creatures in the world. What can you tell us about this plague?
I can't say too much just yet, except that it is a unique soul plague that is devouring the Living Lands, and part of the player's mission in being sent here is to investigate and try to stop it.
We also saw a lot of combat in the trailer, and we see dual-wielding pistols, we see spells, we see swords, we see just a ton of abilities. A lot that actually is really reminiscent of the Pillars universe too, but those were isometric top-down view games, and Avowed is a first-person game. So how did the team approach that same kind of fantasy combat, but in the first person for Avowed?
So we wanted to take that same depth and breadth of play styles and combat abilities and player fantasies, where you can play someone who's very magically attuned, more traditional fighter or ranger, and really invest in whatever play style is most appealing to you personally. We wanted to take that depth and breadth and translate it into a first-person experience, where you can feel the visceral nature of the attacks, feel the dynamism and the momentum of those attacks as you're executing them, and that means including a range of options like, as you noted, dual-wielding pistols, which is one of my favorites because you don't see that often in fantasy RPGs, but also traditional sword and board, a whole host of magical abilities, a lot of things that'll be both a little bit familiar but hopefully new to players as well.
And I've got one more question for you, because I know the audience is going to want to know this one, but just how big is this game?
So it's going to be roughly comparable to something like Knights of the Old Republic 2 or The Outer Worlds. It is set up as a series of interconnected open zones that players can explore at their own pace. You can invest in discovering every nook and cranny in the world, discovering every secret, finding every side quest, meeting every character, or you can have a much more focused experience. And it's really up to players and how much time they want to spend in the Living Lands, but I'm hopeful that they're going to spend a lot of time with us once Avowed releases.
Well, count me in as one of those players, because I definitely want to read and hear every line of dialogue, everything everyone has to tell me, and discover every inch of the Living Lands. Well, thank you again so much for being here, Carrie. This has been so insightful and fun.
Thank you, Tina. This has been a pleasure.
That was just a taste of what you can
What,
expect
about
from Obsidian
25, 30
Entertainment when
hours then?
Avowed lands
What I
next
got from
year
that?
on Xbox, PC, and Game Pass.
Yeah. Maybe an extra 20 or 30 if you're going to go around and do everything.
Yep.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, good. Good.
I'm a little surprised that they come out, say straight, okay, same size as Outer Worlds.
차세대
Yeah, comparable, yeah.
just said a similar style to Outer Worlds.
엑스박스 1을 포함해
Comparable in
콘솔과
size.
PC 크로스플레이가 가능하고 프리투 플레이로 즐기실 수 있도록 개발 중입니다. 퍼스트 디센던트에서 플레이어는 계승자가 되어
What game is that?
Exo Primal, I think, is it?
계승자는 플레이어의
No, that's not Exo Primal. Descendant, yeah.
가지고 있습니다. 플레이어는 계승자를 통해 잉그리스 대륙을 탐험하며 스토리를 체험하고 다양한 임무를 혼자서 혹은 협동 플레이로 수행하게 됩니다. 또한 최대 4인 협동 플레이로 거대 보스와의 레이드를 경험할 수 있습니다. 거대 보스별 다양한 기믹과 부위 파괴 등을 통해
Shooting and the sort of gameplay reminds me a bit of Lost Planet.
Yep.
현재 개발팀은 작년 베타 테스트에서 플레이어분들에게 받은 피드백을 개선하는 작업과 신규 컨텐츠의 개발을 병행하고 있습니다. 지금 보시는 화면은 최초로 공개하는 엑스박스 시리즈 X의 실제 게임
very Warframe-like.
언리얼 엔진 5를 활용한 높은 퀄리티의 그래픽이
Which isn't a bad thing. Warframe's a cool game. I just didn't have the time to invest in it.
신규 계승자 역시 개발 중에 있는데요.
Yep.
이 계승자는 불을 이용한 독특한 컨셉의 플레이를 경험할 수 있도록 디자인되었습니다. 또한 자기장을 이용한 방어 능력과 비행 스킬을 지닌 새로운 캐릭터도 개발하고 있습니다.
Iron Man suit.
플레이어분들이 더 많은 탐험을 하고 몰입감 넘치는 스토리를 경험할 수 있도록 다양한 환경의 신규 맵을 개발하고 있으며 새로운 타입의 보스 레이드 역시 지속적으로 개발하고 있습니다. 그리고 많은 분들이 요청하셨던
So this is going to be one of them very grindy looter shooter games.
캐릭터들마다 다양한 컨셉의 스킨을 제공할 예정이며 꾸미기 아이템을 통해 개성을 마음껏
I'm
뽐낼 수
digging the
있도록
outfits though.
지원할 예정입니다.
The cosmetics are cool.
가장 많은 피드백을 받았던 그래플링 훅은 시스템을 완전히 변경하였습니다.
$20 a skin, probably.
그래플링 훅은 조작에 따른 회전과 이동 시 가속 감속을 지원하여 조작의 재미를 훨씬 더 증대하였습니다. 이 밖에도 피드백을 반영하여 점프 모션, 총기 사운드, UI와 UX를 지속적으로 개선해 나가고 있으며 계승자 스킬을 개조할 수 있는 시스템도 개발 중에 있습니다. 게임 사운드 또한 글로벌 유명 게임 작곡가인 스티븐 바튼과 협업하여 보다 풍성한 청각적 경험을 제공하기 위해 준비 중에 있습니다. 마지막으로 여러분께서 가장 기다리실 소식을 전해드리겠습니다. 현재 저희는 연내 출시를 목표로 하고 있으며 그에 앞서 8월 엑스박스 시리즈 X와 S를 포함한 콘솔과 PC에서 크로스플레이 베타 테스트를 진행할 예정입니다. 베타 테스트는 8월 22일부터 8월 28일까지 일주일간 진행되며 오늘부터 공식 홈페이지를 통해 신청하실 수 있으니 플레이어분들의 많은 참여를 부탁드리겠습니다. Be the first descendant.
Okay. Towerborn.
When we were wrapping up Banner Saga, we were really talking about what is it we want to do next.
We earnestly started with the idea of making a game that was hopeful, that it was a triumph for the human spirit.
Something that had a lot of replay ability, something that you can really explore for a long time.
There are different worlds that we want to explore. Towerborn is that game. Towerborn is a fast-paced action RPG. It's a co-op game. You can play it online. You can play it on the couch with your friends and family. Everybody's moving through the world map together. As the players move out, they start breadcrumbing the storyline that is being told here. From the world map, you go into fun, fast combat. You come out of that with resources and crafting items, and with all their new loot, they can go back to the Belfry.
It's weird to see like a big overworld like they had in Final Fantasy VII.
The Belfry is the player's safe haven and humanity's safe haven. The player can customize their appearance, their loadout, talk to all these different NPCs.
The world itself is a mix of 3D and 2D. We definitely wanted to have that kind of beautiful background that you see in animated movies.
Towerborn is all about humanity's last chance at survival.
Humanity is clinging to hope and clinging to this tower.
It is your mission to try to hold the forces of darkness at bay, to give humanity a chance at survival.
The most important thing about the gameplay is it's just fun. And it kind of just amplified its fun the moment you added another player. All of the players can build their character in a way that's specific to them. It just turns into this back and forth exploration. Like, let's try to do this one combo, and then let's see if you can do a follow-up. From a couch co-op perspective, that's just really fun because there's not too many couch co-op games anymore.
I'm hoping in 5 years from now, it's in a place that I never even would have thought of.
It's a seasonal game, which is different for us.
Players can expect a new storyline with new quests, new biomes. We'll be rolling out new gear, new monsters, new bosses.
Expanding on the content in a continuous, organic way, so it just becomes a living world.
Okay. When we started Stoic, we decided, let's just make games that we feel strongly about and we want to play. We had to find the right relationship with a publisher, and I think we found that with Xbox. They've enabled us to make the game that we want to make here. I earnestly cannot wait for the community to see the game that we're rolling out here. Towerborn is, I really believe, something unique.
Ooh, Insider program.
There's that roar again.
State of Decay 2? No? Fallout?
No.
Fallout 76.
Fallout. Send a blue.
Okay.
Hello, I'm John Rush, art director for Fallout 76. I hope you enjoyed the world premiere of the trailer for our Once in a Blue Moon update coming June 20th, free to play for anyone who owns Fallout 76. The blue moon has risen over the hills of Appalachia, bringing with it a ton of great new content for players. That includes new cryptids like the Blue Devil and Ogwa to threaten the progress of the Blue Ridge Caravan Company. We've also got 2 new public events, both of which give you a chance to earn caravan and cryptid-themed rewards. Defend the Middle Mountain pit stop from waves of monstrous creatures and safe and sound. And thwart a horde of crazed cultists and beasts of burden. With Season 13, we've also got a new scoreboard called Shoot for the Stars, which celebrates the stars of the silver screen and gives you a chance to earn cinema-themed rewards. And we're not done yet. Next year, we're taking players to Atlantic City, where they'll gamble on the fates of new factions for the opportunity to win big. Do your part in helping the Blue Ridge Caravan Company and earn rewards along the way. Once in a Blue Moon is coming June 20th. Appalachia is coming at you.
Okay.
We'll see you there.
Yep, you took the words right out of my mouth, Mick.
I smell like it.
What's this? What happened now?
Coming soon, advance notice this time.
Like advance notice by an hour or something like that.
July 5th.
That would be funny.
We've just seen a new trailer for updates coming to Hi-Fi Rush called Arcade Challenge Update. No joke, there's literally exclamation points in there. That's not just me. So here to explain that and more about the update is game director John Johannes. Welcome to Showcase Extended, John.
Really glad to be here.
Exclamation points?
They have to be in there.
Yeah. It feels
It's style. It's style. Yeah.
It's a style thing. Well, Hi-Fi Rush is such a stylish game in general. I think that's one of the things that people really excitedly pointed out when we shadow dropped the game in the developer direct earlier this year. But making a brand new IP is always a bit of a risk. Your studio's known for kind of scarier games like The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo.
Can't deny that. But yeah, this type of game is something I just always wanted to make personally. And I just thought music and action work so well together. And after I had finished working on The Evil Within 2, it just felt like the right time to try something new. And our studio's always been about just making fun games. It doesn't have to be about a certain genre. We're not about making one specific thing.
And fortunately, there's plenty more of that content to come because we just saw an absolutely jam-packed trailer. So I'd love for your help in breaking down all the details, all the stuff going into this update.
Sure. There's a lot, so bear with me. Everything in this mode is unlockable once you've finished the game, and you'll unlock an arcade cabinet in your hideout. And by accessing it, you get 2 new modes. One is called BPM Rush mode, which takes the gameplay up to like higher speeds than we've ever done in the main game. And the other is called Power Up, Tower Up, which is a new sort of randomized spin on the rhythm tower mode that we had in the original game. And included in this mode are 5 new original songs to play to, as well as 2 brand new enemies. And then there's special attacks and this whole meta system for unlocking upgrades and rewards. And that's all I can think of right now.
I love that there's so much to unpack there, but let's rewind. Let's talk about just BPM Rush for now.
Sure.
It was described in the trailer as effectively Hi-Fi Rush's equivalent of a turbo mode. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, early on, the team was like, how fast can we go? And in the game, we kind of settled at, about a max 160 BPM. But this mode really takes it up to 200 BPM. But we sort of ease you in there. It's a gradual upgrade until it eventually gets so fast, you just got to sort of think on your feet and naturally react to the rhythm in the combat of the game.
I personally love that there's a lot of accessibility settings in the game, too. It makes it so that you can adjust the game to your own comfort level. But this is a post-game challenge. It's meant for when you've gotten into the rhythm of the game. So I'm curious if you have any pointers.
We're finally arriving at speed metal.
As an action game, I think a lot of people want that sort of next level challenge, another way to use their abilities in a new type of environment. This mode does that by putting you at the high speed. But we also have multiple difficulties. We have an easy mode for people who want to experience what that's like, but maybe are not in tune with that sort of high difficulty that's accompanied with this stuff. But then we have a casual normal mode as well. And then we have, after beating those modes, we can unlock an EX mode, which takes up to a hard level where damage is multiplied and keeps you at that high BPM throughout the entire time.
But there already was a post-game challenge when Hi-Fi Rush launched. It was the Rhythm Tower mode. You mentioned that briefly earlier. That's the one where you face just increasingly difficult combat. So how has that evolved with the Power Up, Tower Up mode?
So the Rhythm Tower mode was kind of like a very curated experience. And while it was very challenging, you can prepare, go in and sort of customize your character, know what you're getting into. And in this mode, we flip it to the almost opposite end. Chai starts off downgraded. We actually remove all your abilities, and you have to earn them back by fighting waves of randomized enemy sets. And after every wave of enemies, you get to choose from a series of power-ups that can gradually increase your stats. Each of these upgrades comes with either bonus or negative modifiers as well to the gameplay, so you can take more risks or less risks depending on which upgrades you pick. And again, those upgrades are randomized each level, so you really kind of have to have an understanding of the systems and not quite master them, but have a good grasp if you want to go in and come out on top.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it was a really packed trailer. There was a lot of information in there. It's a chonky update. So what else have you got for us? Because I feel like there's more on the table there.
Yeah, so by playing in the 2 modes, you unlock these rewards through these challenges that are connected to these 2 modes. And in those rewards are things like accessories for Chai and new costumes for Chai 808, and even as well as fan favorite Corsica. We have new modes for the photo mode as well. Things like new filters. We have new poses for the characters. We have stickers that you can place on the photos now. And then there are some extra hidden secrets that we don't want to give away right now, which, as you know from our game, we like to hide in there and we like people to find, which is always fun. And then in conjunction with this release, we're also releasing a separate costume pack, which is a kind of take on what the characters would look like if maybe this game took place in a different time period.
Ooh, a little tease. I like that.
And there's some really fun-looking stuff in there, so.
Well, thank you again so much for coming out all the way from Japan to Showcase Extended, John.
I'm super glad to be here.
That's all we have to share about the new update for Tango Gameworks' Hi-Fi Rush coming soon. Now it's time for us to return to the second era of Tamriel and the Elder Scrolls Online. ZeniMax Online Studios debuted the trailer for their upcoming expansion at Showcase, and today they're here to break that trailer down for us.
Do we
Let's hear
really
what the
have
team
to
has
put
say
that
about the
stuff,
Necrom expansion for
Fallout
Elder Scrolls
76
Online?
and Elder Scrolls Online in both showcases with way too much screen time?
Yep.
I don't know.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching the Xbox Showcase. I'm Rich Lambert, the creative director on Elder Scrolls Online.
And I'm CJ Greb, I'm the project art director for Elder Scrolls Online.
One of the really interesting things about Elder Scrolls Online is it's different than really any other game out there. It's not
the word I
your
would
typical
use.
level-gated world. Go
Word I
anywhere,
would
you
use is
explore in
boring.
any order you want to.
You really can hop in at any moment, play with anybody, can play any part of the game.
And any story.
And of course, I mean, we're on Xbox Game Pass, you know, the biggest open world RPG on Xbox. And if you're at all a fan of Elder Scrolls, you can go places.
I'm a fan of Elder Scrolls,
You
just
maybe
not
have never
this
gone before in an Elder
or
Scrolls game.
online version of Elder
that
Scrolls.
you've never been able to do. There's so many different activities to participate in. You know,
housing.
We've got lore hunting and antiquities, right? There's the dungeons and the trials.
And you can, of course, always revisit lands that you've been to before. We've got Skyrim, Morrowind.
Yeah, and they're different times. You know,
In a
we're
different
almost
time,
1,000
yeah.
years in the past.
I'm good, thanks.
Come in by yourself, come in with friends, but don't worry that you're.
I'd rather play Skyrim again for the millionth
because
time.
there are adventures
These two
everywhere.
look like they're going to do a shake and bake sort of thing any minute now.
Yeah.
We had an awesome trailer during the showcase. Necrom, Hermaeus Mora.
Yeah.
What's it all about, Rich?
Hermaeus Mora is this Daedric god of knowledge. He's not good, he's not evil. He is just focused on cataloging the world and collecting everything he possibly can to study. And what you kind of see in the trailer is Mora kind of always on guard, always looking over and watching what's kind of going on. And you get to see some nostalgia in there as well from the Dragonborn DLC in Skyrim with the yellow-green skies.
The vast inky sea, the stacks of books.
I'll still never forget the first time you showed us the initial concepts for everything made out of books. I remember looking at that going, oh my God, how are we gonna do
How are we
this?
gonna
Like,
do
how
that?
is this gonna run?
We always try to honor the past, right? Because when we go back to areas that people who play Elder Scrolls games have played, they know these lands. We want them to feel like they're coming home, right? But we have the chance to add a little into the mix.
The art team was able to really play with kind of cool, unique monsters.
Yeah, we were given some great places to go for new monsters in the zone. We were looking at making a creature
Although
that would
it's
kind of
Slender Man.
freeze you in terror as soon as you saw it. And a creature that has a deeper connection to the overall story of the zone.
We've also got the Tavani Peninsula, kind of the Morrowind vibe.
It's always fun to go back to this part of Tamriel because it's one of the most imaginative and sort of like visually expressive things that has ever been created for an Elder Scrolls world. And then, of course, Necrom City itself.
This ancient city that, you know, is rumored to have been built, you know, even before the Tribunal was even established.
Right.
Being able to play with that and look at that architecture and this ancient city of the dead.
And you guys gave us a new class to do.
The Arcanist draws their powers from Hermaeus Mora. We really challenged ourselves and the team to make something that didn't feel like anything else that we have built.
Everything we've been talking about sounds amazing, but when do we actually get to play it?
Necrom launches on Xbox.
I think one of my
June
biggest
20th,
issues with,
and we can't wait
this
for
is
everybody
that
to get in
the
there and see
DLCs
this
are all
amazing content that we've created.
separate.
Yep.
Thanks everyone for
And
watching.
then you've
us
got
during
your
the
monthly
showcase
cost when you
and
get past
watching
a
us
certain
today.
level.
Lots of exciting stuff coming for ESO in the
it's
future.
on Game Pass.
See you in
shouldn't be
Tampa.
paying for it. It's the same thing with I was thinking with Minecraft. You should get one free server if you're on Game Pass, one of your own.
What's this then? Horror game.
Yeah, I'm out.
Is this
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Phasmophobia coming to console?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, yeah. I'm in. I'm
I'd
in.
actually be down to play this on console. To be honest, it's a hell of a lot of fun on PC.
Yeah, I'm in.
With friends.
Is this Game Pass?
We'll
Do you think
have
it's
to
Game
stream
Pass?
this. We'll have to stream this if it is.
If this
gotta
is
be
Game Pass,
right?
I'm day one. Like,
Gotta be. Or play it online co-op, cross-platform. Cross-platform? So I can play with you on PC, if I'm on PC.
Yeah, apparently so. Doesn't say
Not
Game
Game
Pass.
I'll still jump in. It won't be that much.
It's probably only going to be cheap anyway. I think it's like 20 quid on PC.
番組をご覧の皆様、こんにちは。エグゾプライマルディレクターの平岡です。まずはじめに、3月に開催しました第1回オープンベータテストに多くのエグゾファイターの皆様にご参加いただきました。
My
アンケートや
my
SNS を通
laptop's
じて
doing
たくさんのフィー
overtime
ド
with
バ
this
ックをい
heat.
ただいております。
Fucking boiling.
今後の開発に活用させ
I
てい
think
ただ
I'm
きま
doing
す。
overtime in this heat. I can fall asleep right now.
It's loud. The fans are
さて、
doing
カプコンショー
overtime.
ケースはご覧いただけましたでしょうか。
Heat
その
just
中で
takes it out of you,
発表しました
man.
が、第2回オープンベータテストの
Takes it out of
開催が
everything.
決定しました。詳しい日程や情報は公式サイトをご覧ください。それではここからは番組をご覧の皆様に新情報を
I
紹介
can't
し
really
ます。
say I'm all that into this game. I know it's going into Game Pass and I'm probably going to
サベージ
try
ガン
it.
トレットは
But
内容が毎週切り替わる
it's just
特別な
not
ミッシ
really
ョン
much that, you know,
世
makes
界
me
中の
go,
ファイタ
wow,
ーと
this
クリア
is
タイムを競う
amazing.
とい
I
う
must play this day one.
Especially
ディノサバイバル
like
とは違い
when it releases.
出現する恐竜や
It's gonna be.
フィールド
I'm
が
gonna
遊
be
ぶために
knees
は変
deep
化せず
in
全世界
in
のプレイヤーが
Starfield
同
and
じ内
and
容のミ
Diablo
ッショ
for
ンに挑み
ages.
ます今回は
That's
恐
the
竜が出
problem.
現する位置にあら
I'm
かじめ
still like
That's the
I was
problem
playing
also with
another.
Cyberpunk and other games.
Yeah, I played another like 4 hours of
出現してきたらこのようにスカイウェーブのグランドケージと合わせて起爆
Yeah, I played about 3 hours today.
ミッションは
And
画面上部に
I
表
have
示されている恐竜の討伐な
the
のです
feeling I didn't make any progress. Well, I finished Act 2, but you know.
Yeah, I think I'm almost at the end of Act 3, so I'll eventually get my mount.
倒すか倒さないかはプレイ
Then
ヤ
I'm
ーの
gonna.
作
I
戦
thought that dog, that 3-headed dog you
目標を達成したら次のミッションへ
teased,
ゲームの流れは
Yeah, it was a pain in the arse.
where you were having problems with.
Yeah.
何やら次のミッションに備えてエグゾスー
He
ツ
was
を
a
着替
That
えている
boss fight was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. Multi-staged.
Yeah.
なるほどスナイパーの要素が離れた位置に多く出現するのでビジラントに着替えたようですね
I just fought another boss just not long before I came on this stream, and it got it was a pain in the arse. I had to go back, schedule a portal, go back to another town, upgrade my gear, change my weapons and things like that, and then go back and face them. And we took them down, kind of third time of asking, but he was a right pain in the arse. It was just a
Did you do
tank.
enough side content to get your extra potion from that Act 2 area?
Yes, I did enough exploration. I'm intentionally not doing the side quests because when you pick the side quests up, they stay at the level that you pick them up at. So if you don't do them immediately, then the equipment's useless when you go back to finish the side quests. So I'm ignoring the side quests for the minute and just doing the main line, and then going back and doing side quests before I do post game.
その後自分のクリアタイムがどの程度だったか
But you got, how many potions do you have
6
at the moment?
次は
Six,
バリアント
yeah,
スーツ
same
を
here.
紹介しますバリアントスーツはデフォルトのエグゾスーツとは異なる性質の武器を装備しており戦い方が変化したスーツですデフォルトのデッドアイ
I'm
は
not really interested in Exoprimal,
デ
honestly.
ッドアイアルファバーストファイヤーはショットガンとバースト射撃
I might give it a try since it's on Game Pass.
Yep. That's the beauty of these things, is because we don't pay any additional for it. It's already on the subscription, so we'll try it
It's not
together
something
because
I'm
it's
in
meant to be
any
a
rush to
co-op
play.
game. It's meant to be a co-op game, so we'll try it together, see what we think of it. Reminds me of the other dinosaur game we got not too long ago that was co-op. What was that called again?
Second Extinction.
Yeah.
Second Extinction, yeah.
Bounced off that pretty quickly.
To be fair, this looks a lot more fun than that
I was
did.
going to say, yeah,
I think I played that Second Extinction for about 5 minutes and I was like, I'm good, I've played enough.
Yeah.
ニンバスアルファダブルバレーバリアントスーツは発売後のタイトルアップデートで遊べるようになります
This is just Gundam
プライマル
meets
は発売後も
Jurassic
アッ
Park.
プデートを行っていきます
Gundam meets
シ
Turok.
ーズンごとに新たなゲームコンテンツを追加していきますのでご期待ください本日はありがとうございました
Right, cheers.
それではウォーゲームでお会いしましょうレッツマッシブ
July 14th, Game Pass. There we go.
Sarah's back.
It's great to see the dedication from the team at Capcom and how they're building Exoprimal
She always does the same thing with her
the
hands.
community. Gaming has the power to immerse us in worlds and perspectives we'd never otherwise experience. We can fight
Keanu Reeves wasn't much better though.
to a dystopian
Yeah.
future, explore the universe, and conjure magic. And we get to do this together, no matter where we are on the planet, the language we speak, what we look like, or our physical abilities. That is why it is both an absolute imperative and an incredible opportunity that games represent all of us. That is why we created the ID at Xbox Developer Acceleration Program, to help underrepresented creators and stories in the industry shine. We call it DAP. DAP already includes more than 100 emerging developers, and they've launched 30 incredible games like A Space for the Unbound, Validate, and HOA. And there are many, many more in the works. Let's take a look at these amazing games coming up next from ID at Xbox's Developer Acceleration Program.
Okay.
There's a bit of a Max Payne looking thing there where somebody slow jumped out with twin guns. What is that? Drag her.
Okay. Sonzai looks cool.
What the hell was that? That's weird.
Island of Winds. Already blue.
I quite like the look of the slow-mo shooter one.
Yeah, El Paso.
Yeah, the Max Payne style. Hey, Paris is here.
He's wearing his Flight Simulator jacket again.
We were just saying in the chat before, it was stuff Sean said of Miss Paris.
He told me about this once-in-a-lifetime, out-of-this-world opportunity.
What's the betting? He's going to say something about entering the danger zone.
He's got Paris Lily can't cook on his jacket.
Hey, Paris. It's great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you.
Thanks for coming to Budapest.
Of course. What am I doing here?
I'll tell you on the way. We have a boat to catch.
A boat?
Yep.
We don't have a plane?
I do like these bits. But didn't they do something similar last year at the extended showcase?
Yeah, yeah.
Behind the scenes of Hellblade 2. Right, thank God that's coming up.
What is this place? What kind of aircraft are you storing in here?
Dude, it's much cooler than that. All right, Paris, are you ready for this?
You know I'm ready for this.
All right, let's go.
The prop for the Dune thing.
Oh yeah. Dune props.
Welcome to the world of Dune. This is incredible. Come on, I want you to meet someone. Hey, how's it going?
How are you, man?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Paris, I would like to introduce Patrice Vermette, Academy Award-winning production designer of Dune.
It is very nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan of Dune. Now, Patrice, can you tell me, what is this place?
Well, this is the warehouse where we actually keep most of the props and the set deck elements that we used on Dune Part 1 and Part 2.
Now, Jorg, how did all this get started?
So it goes back to November 2021. Dune had just hit the movie theaters worldwide, and we got a call from Legendary, and they had the idea that we bring an ornithopter into Microsoft Flight Simulator. And me being a lifelong science fiction reader and fan, a big, huge fan of the Frank Herbert books, how could I say no?
Okay, now it makes sense after seeing the trailer at the Xbox showcase. I understand why you brought me here.
You guys want to take a look? Because we actually do have a couple of ornithopters here if you want to see. You want to take a look?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Look at this. It's a one-on-one real-sized ornithopter. It's amazing.
Sure, thank you. Denis likes things to be plausible, so that's why they were built to look military, rugged, and stealth.
Now, here's the most important question. Were they built to fly?
Funny you mentioned, because I've been asked that question on a couple of occasions. No, they don't fly. They are heavy. They're 11 tons.
So, Jorg, you had to get this working in the game. How did you do this in Flight Sim?
Yeah, it was actually interesting. So in general, ornithopters can fly and do fly. This particular one, given that it weighs 11 tons, that's going to be a little bit harder, specifically because it's not really doing the ornithopter bird flap. It does oscillation of the blades. And we currently don't have the material science to get the thrust and the lift. But on Arrakis, I think this is absolutely possible. And in Flight Sim, we made it work.
Patrice, we're here. Can we go in?
Absolutely.
Right.
Let's do it. Normally we'd go in through the climbing up the landing gear, but this will do.
Yeah, so what's cool about this, Paris, is that all those buttons are actually realistically hooked up to the system. Master engine switch, what you're doing there above those, the red, are basically all the lights.
And as you notice, it's all analog because in the world of Dune, there's no thinking machines. Thinking machines have been illegal for 10,000 years.
Yeah, that was actually fascinating when we implemented it. Because it's a science fiction, we thought, oh, it's glass cockpits, everything is going to be computerized. Like, none of it.
You know full well in that moment, Paris was like imagining he was in on the set of Dune.
Yeah.
You can see it in his face. He was imagining that he was in Dune.
You're going to be able to reproduce that in Flight Sim?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, the really cool design that you guys came up with is each blade is independently controlled. So each blade has its own lift and thrust. And that means it can go from a really stable hover to a steep dive.
That's pretty
and back
cool.
to a glide instantaneously. I would just say thank you that you designed such an awesome and realistic machine. Because that's what we do. We bring realistic machines to
I think
life.
this comes
But if
out
you
with
wanna see a little
the
bit more about
movie
the
the end of this year, right?
Yeah.
This DLC.
Absolutely.
Yeah, probably.
I thought it was part of the 2024.
No, it's part of 2020.
So, the setup for this expansion is that you are a Atreides pilot on Arrakis flying an ornithopter. Here is what we built. We basically built this section of Arrakis. Here's the capital city of Arrakis.
They've built an entire map just for this.
Here's a botanical garden. We have that as well. And the first thing we do is we train you up. The fast takeoff, fast landing, and then the deep dive. And then we take you to some
I wonder
of
if it's going to be the
locations, like above the cliff,
big ass worm
the hole in the rock,
in there.
the red chasm. You really have to show
Sandworm,
them
whatever
how
it's
this
called.
goes. And then, towards the end, then there's a secret mission, which I can't talk about today.
It might
That
be.
basically
You
wraps
just
up the
said can't talk
experience.
about
It's gonna
it.
be Great.
Super exciting. Hey.
It was great to see you again.
Paris.
That's a cool
Thank you
update.
for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
What's cool? Sunglasses.
All right, Jorg. Where to next?
Well, I don't know what they eat on Arrakis, but this is Budapest, and I hear they have excellent goulash. I know this.
That was entertaining, that bit, I must
enjoyed
admit.
that way too much.
There we go, November 3rd.
Okay. I've reinstalled it on the PC. So, So it's a Switch game.
Okay.
That is a code.
Liza P is a thrilling Souls-like that takes the story
We've already
of
got a demo.
Pinocchio,
This didn't need to be
turns
here.
it on its head, and sets it against the darkly elegant backdrop
a bit-
of the Belle
yeah.
Epoque era.
Finally, we meet.
You are awakened by a mysterious voice.
I have to stand up. I'm sticking to the chair.
You must adapt yourself and your weapons to face untold horrors, untangle the unfathomable secrets of the city's elites, and choose whether to confront predicaments with the truth or weave lies to overcome them on the journey to find yourself. You are able to create your own weapon through the combination of these blades and handles. Of the hundreds of possible combinations with different respective appearances, performances, attack motions, and patterns. Each and every blade and handle has its distinctive Fable Arts. Fable Arts is a special combat skill that can be casted by consuming Fable slots. Fable slots can be charged again through combat. Select your own special skills to vanquish your enemies. The Legion arm is a prosthetic on P's left arm. The Legion arm can exhibit special abilities by consuming the Legion gauge, providing you an eclectic combat experience. So, puppets are all there are? I highly doubt that. You'll have to face all sorts of monsters, puppets only being one of
So
them.
the demo's available now?
You're not quite
Yep.
done yet. Bone
Yeah,
chilling
I've got it
bosses.
installed, but I've not played it just yet.
If a boss seems too intimidating, you might want to get help from a specter. In boss matches, you can summon a specter that will assist you in battle. With a bit of help, you will be able to defeat bosses with more ease.
A P organ.
P organ is a system that allows you to upgrade your character. Use quartz to optimize P to
Interesting
your
choice
liking.
of name.
Within
Yep.
P organ,
Optimize
you can
P
select
to your
which slots
liking.
to unlock depending on your preference. There will be times when you will be confronted with choices where you can give comfort to others in sorrow or despair by lying, or you can choose
Does his
to
nose
tell
grow
the
though
truth.
when he lies?
No, his P organ does.
Carve your own path. Meet Liza P on Xbox One, Xbox Series, and Game Pass. Coming to you this September 19th.
It will also get buried with Starfield.
Yep.
Oh, Hellblade.
At the heart of Hellblade is
Fingers
our
crossed.
Oh, it's Harry
desire
Potter's
to
brother,
sink you into
Will
Senua's
Potter.
world and story. To do this,
Wish
it's
Harry
critical that we
Potter.
make it as easy as possible for you to suspend your disbelief. One key method of achieving this is our use of performance capture.
What I want to achieve on stage is to get the best performance and best storytelling from the actors, and then to get that into the game as faithfully as possible. I want to see what I saw on stage in the game. It's time to find out. Why are they watching? It's time to find. When we were shooting the scene from the Xbox showcase, it was quite a somber mood on set, because that was one of our moments in the game where it's just Senua and the Furies, and we have an opportunity to connect with the player one-on-one.
Are they?
Where are you?
What do they want? I don't like it.
I'm scared.
At this point in Senna's journey, she's had her confidence eroded. There's a lot of doubt, and she needs to find within herself a spark of hope, that strength that she has in order to continue on.
Everything I've done has led me to this place.
We've come so far.
While this scene is relatively simple, the scale and complexity of our performance capture has multiplied to meet our creative ambitions on Hellblade 2.
We shot the first Hellblade in the boardroom of our old studio. It was very MacGyvered together. In the new studio, we have a custom-built mocap space, which has pretty much everything we could have dreamed of. We've got projectors, so we can recreate sets on the ground if we need to. We've got loads of props that we have available to us at any time, so we can build sets.
I remember coming in to interview and seeing the setup down there and immediately being impressed by the clear commitment that had been made to underpinning great true-to-life performance with great quality data. So we've got a lot more cameras this time around. They're kind of top of the line at the moment. And in the kind of space that we have downstairs, we have nearly wall
I don't think so.
Which is
On the
really
left side,
and
that was in one
it's
of the
not
mocap
something
things.
that is common. It's certainly a step up from a few cameras set up in a boardroom.
With our setup, we can push even further on our ambition of bringing through as much of our actors' performances as possible into the game, even down to the most nuanced of movements.
So when you've got an optical system like ours set up and calibrated well, you can track performers' movements down to the millimeter. So we can see somebody shuffling their finger along the table or just wiggling them very gently. You can see hesitation and breath. You know, there's no need to push the action and overact. You can just be your character.
I'm here now.
What we want is the best performance possible, the best immersion possible for the player, and that's why we go to these lengths, just to try and get that extra fidelity of performance into the game.
What do you want me to do?
With performance capture being at the heart of our character movement, our props and staging had to facilitate our vision.
I don't want to give any spoilers away, but there is going to be a boat in the game. That boat will have several characters on board. We wanted to be able to capture the motion of a boat across multiple characters simultaneously, and we, for the first time, had the space to be able to construct a proper rig for this. So we had a platform which could be moved in any number of ways to create that kind of pitch and yaw and roll that you would get on the ocean. And we got our actors up onto this boat and captured scene with high waves and a storm, and we got incredible data from really, really amazing. The most important part of my role is to make sure that story gets told, and having these wonderful actors we're working with bring their talents to bear on these characters has been such an amazing experience.
Christopher K in the chat says apparently the Forza stream is live already.
Yep. Still no combat.
Nothing new at all.
Bit of a shame that. It's a missed opportunity, I think, to just show a little bit.
Welcome, welcome to FanFest. I'm excited to be here. So here we go. Let's roll that video.
Starfield stuff there. Somebody with an ace of salad there.
Yep.
Obrigado.
as Melvin at playing awesome games and having a great time.
There is so much going on here tonight.
That's Graham.
Honestly, I've never felt so good to be part of Xbox in my life. I'm just wandering around. I've been talking
Oh,
to people.
I'm gonna get a Series S cushion.
Yeah.
We really put a lot of emphasis
I'm
on
go-
empowering creative risk, and then there's so much excitement for what we're going to be able to deliver going
Got
into
the trailer already.
2024, and even games in 2024 that we haven't talked about yet. So our mission, our strategy is to bring the joy of gaming to everybody, no matter where they want to play, how they want to play. And I just feel, you know, a real responsibility, a real privilege, excitement that we get to be the ones to build those games that are going to be at the center of no matter what we do.
Hi, I'm Sebastian, and I'm the community manager for Let Your Frontier. Today, I'll be playing with Kelly, Anita, and Carolina to explore the new multiplayer features Let Your Frontier has to offer. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today, we should continue building up the base we started yesterday. We'll need more resources, and it'll be faster if we work together to collect them. Can two of you work on that?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool.
Go.
Hey, that purple mech looks great.
Thanks. It's my favorite color.
Dang, the farm looks pretty good with all the grown crops.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm looking forward to making the farm even bigger.
I'm gonna work on making our home look a little bit better, and then I'll come down and help you out.
Great. I'll see you in a bit then.
What do you want to focus on gathering, you think?
I can get wood to start with, and then you can help me get some aluminum.
I'll get
Aluminium.
some stone also then. That should cover a lot of what we need for crafting and building.
Did she say
Once
aluminum?
we finish,
Aluminum.
let's head back and help
Oh.
with the buildings.
It's aluminium. Come on, man.
How's it going up there?
Dude, in German it's also aluminium.
Yeah.
So I always make that mistake as well.
There's so many good choices.
I know, right?
It's just your weird language that says aluminum.
Yeah, it's the Yanks that say aluminum.
There's
Yeah, it's
loads
not
of
all.
aluminium here. They're actually
We
pretty
say
strong,
aluminium.
so we can do it faster
Yeah.
if we both.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah. The
together
woman
and
on,
see what
on
else
screen
we
said
can find.
aluminum.
After we bring this back, I'll take a look in some other regions to see what materials they have.
I don't know who that
I'm
is.
done up here, so I'll come
Or what,
join ya.
where she's from, but
Oh, my
uh,
inventory is getting
not
full from
aluminum.
harvest. I think we should build some like silos or crates to store it all.
Yeah, we should probably build a fence around those two.
That looks super boring, to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah, this is something, you know, could have been
You need
something.
hours in a base building game where you need hours to build a fence.
Yes,
That's
please, oh my gosh.
Fantastic.
Do you want us to start helping you build?
Like, how
Yes,
do you
please,
make
please.
mechs boring?
On it.
What do you think of the layout?
they should have called it the game that.
How
You
to
know,
make mechs boring.
how to make mechs boring.
Almost done with the fences here.
Unless they've got a combat purpose, I don't
Hey, everyone,
really see.
I was going for more materials and I found
This
some ruins over
bit
there.
really
Who wants to come
couldn't
see
sound
this?
any more scripted, could it?
Oh wow, what is this?
This is like a Ubisoft
This is so
event.
cool.
This
That
bit.
door is huge.
Oh my god, look at that door!
What's inside, though?
Tomorrow
Yeah.
we should totally find a way to
I
open
saw it
this.
100
Let's head back
times
to the
before
base
when you were
and see
developing the game.
Good for those who like farming sims. Okay then,
Another
10 new
crab
indie games
treasure.
coming to Game Pass. Another crab's
Another
treasure.
crab's treasure.
Yes, this is on the
Was
ice.
this at your show?
It was.
Showcase, Dutch?
Yes.
Yeah. We don't,
Oh,
we
no,
don't,
straight
we
to-
don't want to be playing that one.
It's a crab-like game.
To be fair, I did quite look interesting in that crab game. City of Stars.
Yes. Vin will be happy with that. Straight in the Game Pass.
Just follow my instructions.
Harold Halibut. The funky art style.
Welcome.
Neon white. Okay.
The Wandering Village. One for you, WandrinDutch.
Wandering on the Wandering. The Sea of Stars is the biggest one there for Game Pass.
Every year in our showcase, there's one game
Phil
that kind
Spencer,
of pops for me,
gamer.
something I'm very interested in. This year, we got to announce 33 Immortals from Thunder Lotus. And I'm here now with Stefan and Will to walk through a demo of the game, which I've never played before. First time. We have 33 people online, incredibly excited about this. So we're going to jump in?
All right, let's jump in and start playing.
33 screen's a bit far away,
is
Phil.
a co-op action roguelike for 33 players. You play
So
a
we're
damned
10
soul
20 feet away
must
from it?
rebel against God's final judgment. So there are 3 of us here today on stage, 3 upstairs, and 27 people joining us from Montreal in the studio. Hi, everyone.
And we are ready. That's us. Everybody's spawning in.
That's us.
This is 33-player multiplayer.
Yeah.
Not a normal number of characters for a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
How did you come up with 33 players?
We were searching for a significant number where we can all play on the screen.
Yeah.
We stay together on the screen, so 33 felt good. 32 felt good. But as the game is inspired by the Divine Comedy, the medieval poem from Dante Alighieri, written in the 14th century. And this poem has 3 sections: Inferno, Purgatorio, Paradiso. Each section has 33 chapters. And so we say, oh, let's do 33
I love
players,
it. I love it.
33 Immortals.
I love what you said, Will, that when you guys started this game, there weren't even 33 people at the studio, so you didn't have enough people in the studio to fill out the full roster of the game.
Yeah.
It's just such an awesome point.
It's a challenge.
I like that Phil was passionate about this. It means
I love it.
probably means he's played it and he's enjoyed this game very much, like he did with Vampire
We're
Survivors.
actually spawning in a different position, a different situation. We are in the cemetery. If you hold the left trigger, the world map is going to show up. And we can see that we are 33 right now, actually, in Inferno, but we are scattered around the world.
Oh, we're not all in the same place.
Yeah, because we all have to complete torture chambers.
Got it.
To make the game progress.
Okay.
And we are located at the southwest of Inferno.
Yeah.
And so the closest torture chambers is to the east.
Okay.
So let's go there.
Got it.
Okay, let's continue down south towards the first torture chambers. This one, I have a good feeling for it.
The soundtrack, what's going on? The music's kind of cool.
Thank you. This is Max LL, who's actually done the music on all of our games.
And you're in Montreal.
We are in Montreal, yes.
Close to one of our XGS studios in Compulsion.
Yes.
It's also in Showcase.
Yes.
I love the community of game creators in Montreal.
Absolutely. It's always important to be well surrounded and all that. So
we didn't talk about your first game, Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was great.
Now, as you can see, this is not Spiritfarer.
I'm actually quite interested in this
From
game.
a studio standpoint, having such, I mean, I would say they're stylized games.
It's quite a good community.
Outside of that, very different games.
Yeah.
We're not worried about, genre. Our goal is really to just try
I fear that it's going to be like Shredder's Revenge, though, when there's 6 people on that game, and it's hard to see.
Awesome, I love that.
Just becomes so hectic when all 33 people are in the same place.
At least, yeah, it's one of the 33 of you maybe.
All right.
What do we do?
The characters are much smaller this time, so got a bit of perspective. But
I got left behind.
yeah, I think the 33 might still be.
Yeah.
Oh, they're back on us.
Whoa. Well, we gotta face the wrath of God.
Careful.
Oh
no.
Dash. Dash.
Run away.
Oh, I can't. I have like 0 health. New torture. No, I got to get out of here.
Where are you?
Well, why weren't they in the torture chamber trying to help us?
Okay.
Okay, these range.
God is getting angry.
Yeah.
Feels like someone help.
We're getting hammered right now.
For the love of God.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, here's a guy. Can you revive me? Revive me.
Yeah.
Come down,
Just
come down.
stop moving. That's good. One up.
Yeah, I'm up.
Okay. Oh.
Thank you.
Oh no. Run. Oh, this is the holy fire.
What is this?
Oh, one
holy fire.
One nose.
Now we're in holy fire?
He's like, what the fuck's going on?
Okay, I'm ahead of it.
Okay,
Why am I dying
we
so
unlock
much?
the Ascension battle. So that's the last battle.
Here, can we get this? Can people jump in my heels?
Yeah. I'm in. Oh.
I tried to do the heal. Don't mind me, the wandering soul.
Save me, please.
It's his new
Like a
online
song.
name. WandrinDutch was taken.
Maybe someone.
Did I mention I'd never played before?
Oh no, I died too. Oh my.
Oh.
Okay, hopefully the team.
You'll log in
the
next
team
time
can
when your
carry
game
us.
attack's been changed.
Yeah.
Not alone.
There's a lot of enemies in this small
Somebody
space.
else has,
Gonna try
somebody
to
else
not
has
move.
got it.
Okay.
Don't move, and hopefully someone is going to be able to revive you. Okay, good.
Oh, I'm in.
So you're the
I'm in.
Wandering Dutch.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm back.
WandrinDutch too.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is the last
With a
step.
little
it's
DM
my-
from
All
Bill
right.
saying sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
not sorry.
Yeah,
We did
Sorry,
it?
not sorry.
Yeah, we
Took
did
the
it.
name.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we
I'm
did.
pulling
it.
back.
So now we've ascended.
Yeah.
That was first chapter of first book. Is that how I should think about it?
Yeah.
It's the first world, so it's Inferno.
Yeah.
Yeah, each region has its whole big set of challenges and everything.
And this
I'm
is all on the
really
map.
intrigued in
And
this.
its
This
final
could be good
boss
fun.
fight.
That's what this is. Well, since we've basically come through unscathed so far, this should be easy.
You look happy.
Okay. Yeah, it's easy. You saved us from having to kill the final boss.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a tease.
I like it. I like it. Well, best of luck to you and the team and everything that's going on. Can't wait for this game to come out. I won't ask for the date because I know that's unfair. But it was great to have in the show and great for you to come down and we got the opportunity to play. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Finn.
much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for watching Showcase Extended. I love these opportunities to show more about everything that you saw in the showcase itself. Thanks to everybody that supported us and have a great week.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Not bad. Not great.
Yeah, it was all right. It
It
went.
wasn't the
Didn't
best
see much
extended.
more.
They've had better extended.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say they didn't really show much more than we'd already seen.
Yeah.
Really.
And they didn't say
Yeah.
much that we didn't already know. Like, even when
Yeah.
they talked about Avowed, it was just stuff that we've seen on screen. And they didn't
They didn't
really
show
explain
stuff
it.
that we would have liked to have seen.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh well.
I was expecting a little bit more from it,
Yeah.
but it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Very middle of the road.
I was kind of expecting a sort of surprise, larger game, third-party one coming to Game Pass that, you know, might have dropped maybe something we already know about, but didn't know it was coming to Game Pass. But
Yeah.
nothing really.
So.
All right, so Dutch, you know the drill. I'm
I
gonna
do.
head over. Real quick, my thoughts.
Yeah.
Here. Probably the weakest extended showcase they've had so far.
Yeah.
Um,
Agreed.
when they announce something like, okay, we're gonna show more gameplay from out in Hellblade, and then show up and don't show anything, just give an interview. I think people will get disappointed to some degree. Not that it was not interesting what they had to say about Avowed and even Hellblade. I cannot wait to watch the full Death Diary on their YouTube. But they made it sound like it was more than it actually was. So
yeah,
I'd say a mid extended showcase, not bad, not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're gonna discuss it a little bit more in depth soon. I'll let you guys finish off the show here.
Yeah.
And
you get your
then I'll
starting
see
soon
you
up and running,
soon.
and
yeah, exactly, and welcome our guests in. So
indeed.
All
Awesome
right,
stuff.
See you
Awesome
soon,
stuff.
guys.
Catch you soon.
Take it easy, Boxy. See ya.
And for these fine gentlemen, of course, what's your little thoughts here on this extended showcase before we transition over? Of course, as usual, everybody in chat, stay where you are. You don't need to do anything. I'm going to divert you over to the extended show, the post show for this show, which includes Keir Santi and Luke Steele. So sit tight. We'll get you transitioned over as soon as this show finishes, and you'll obviously go over there without clicking the button. But yeah, chaps. Final thoughts, Mick.
Yeah.
First of all, thoughts on the extended.
I'm glad that none of that was in the main show, because in the past we've had shows where a lot of that would have come in the actual show.
Yeah.
Sitting around, talking, showing things off. The only plus side I'd say for that show is that at least all of that was there and not in the main one.
Yeah.
So that's a plus side. Downside, I would have liked to have seen something a bit more gameplay from Fable. I think they could have avoided a bit of the sort of, not many people, but like Boxy said before, that I've listened to a lot of podcasts as well since the show, and the main criticism is not really showing off gameplay, even though we're being told it kind of is. And some games like Hellblade didn't get any gameplay. It would have been a nice little. It would have put a good positive spin on this second show if they'd have gone, oh, and here's some extra bits that, we were holding back for this show.
Yeah.
They didn't do that, unfortunately. So it kind of just turned into a sort of poor indie show. There was some, don't get me wrong, there was some not bad indie stuff in there, but I think we're all fed up of the games as a service stuff.
Well, we are anyway. I know there might be a few people out there that's happy about Elder Scrolls expansions and
That's
stuff.
the point. We don't need to see Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls be shown in the main showcase and then here.
Yeah.
Those games have been out long enough. We know fully what those games are all about. It's more DLC, more story. Yeah, we know what that is. We don't need to see it again. That could be something you release as a teaser on your YouTube channel or on Twitter or something like that. Just leave it out of at least one of the showcases you're doing. It doesn't need to be shown twice.
Yeah.
Just do what Minecraft do now, and they have their own Minecraft event, once a year. That's all you need, isn't it? Or once or twice a year, no matter how many times they're putting out something. If it's, say, ESO could have its own ESO showcase that's just, a couple of times a year.
Just do a small
People who
Bethesda.
enjoy that will go and watch that quite happily, and they'll be happy. For the rest of us, I'm not interested. I don't need to watch that.
Yeah, they could just do a small little Bethesda showcase for those two games.
And to be fair, Sea of Thieves could do the same thing. I mean, as much as I was happy with the announcement the other day, it could have its. I mean, it does. We have small updates frequently on Sea of Thieves that are giving us information, but we've got Sea of Thieves Fest coming up next month, and that could have been a little sort of the Sea of Thieves thing. I know that they'll probably want to show it off on a bigger audience, having Monkey Islands and LucasArts or Lucasfilm Games. They probably, with it being Disney, they wanted it to be showcased to more people.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see that, but we have Sea of Thieves Fest. We could get updates there now. I know they don't want to turn it into an official show though. We've been told the Sea of Thieves Fest wants to be independent, because as soon as Microsoft get involved, then there's a whole world of red tape that's got to be filled in. Put it this way, there's an after party at Sea of Thieves Fest and we're all going for a drink.
Yeah.
That would not be happening if this was an official Xbox, thingy. So kind of glad it's not. But we could have a similar time though, a sort of Sea of Thieves showcase. It's just one of those things, isn't it? It was an all right show, it just wasn't great. There wasn't anything really in there that interests me.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as last year.
And for your sake, I was hoping to see some Hellblade footage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always nice to see updates on how they're developing things, but we'd rather see the game now at this point. So, yeah. Is what it is. Berserker, Berserker's jumping in at the last minute there. Yes, Phasmophobia on consoles, yes. And Vin, Sea of Stars and Game Pass is huge. I understand. I automatically said that when we seen it. So congrats on that. Jen, final thoughts before I transition these guys over?
It was very middle of the road, bare bones sort of showcase. I mean, it's not really a showcase, is it? It's more of a deep dive into some of the other things that might not have had the light shined on it. Just middle of the road.
Yeah.
We'd see the High on Life DLC announcement, which looks like it's going to be more horror themed.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to have some sort of comedy twist to it. But yeah, I walked out of this more intrigued with that 33 Immortals.
Yeah.
I was more interested in that after seeing that here than I was when I first saw it at the normal showcase.
Yeah.
Just trying to think what else was announced. It was just it was more of a slow case than a showcase. So
yeah,
I wasn't really all that tied into it. So I kind of forgot a lot of what's announced because it didn't really pique my interest.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Agreed.
Agreed. It was very middle of the road. It was okay.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, I thought it was okay. It wasn't the best extended showcase. Previous years have been better. That's ultimately kind of all I have to say about that.
I was expecting to see a bit more of Hellblade here than what they showed. At least a little bit more gameplay.
Yeah.
Because they've shown that game way too many times and they never show enough.
Yeah.
And that's something that always bugs me every time they show Hellblade.
Yeah. Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. And I think with the Avowed as well, it was explaining some of the basic stuff that we kind of already knew anyway. So, hey ho, we can't win them all, chaps. We can't win them all. But let's get these outros and then we'll transition over. First of all, Jen, let people know where they can find you, bro, and what you've got coming up.
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow because we've got the main podcast where we'll be covering everything that we talked about and seen this week.
Everything from all of them. Yes.
I'll be watching some of the showcases again. Probably not this extended showcase because I don't think I need to watch that again at all.
Nope.
But yeah, other than that, I'll be streaming on Thursday and Friday on my channel, which is at the General C. As you can see under my name there, that's my handle on Twitter and pretty much everywhere else. So yeah, if you want to catch me live, just check me out on Twitch at that name.
Awesome stuff. And Mick, let people know where they can find you as well, bro.
Yeah, Xbox Mick29 most places. Just Mick29 on the Xbox. And yeah, hopefully, I'm hoping I'll be there tomorrow. I've done a lot of shows recently. I might have to concede tomorrow and make peace with the missus. So I might be there tomorrow. I might not. I'm just warning you.
Yeah.
But yeah, on whole, it's been a good time for Xbox gamers.
Yeah.
This show might not be brilliant, but we can't deny how good the show was the other day.
Yeah.
So
really good show.
And I'm gonna be all Starfield up soon.
Yeah.
Controllers here.
So
headset should be here tomorrow.
Nice.
The watch is pre-ordered.
You have to show some pictures of that headset. Oh no, you'll be on the show, so you'll be showing it. Then you'll be wearing it on the show, won't you?
Yeah, I'm on tomorrow.
Look.
I'll be wearing it.
Look.
Behold my stuff.
Behold the shininess. Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Brill. And of course, for everybody else, straight after this show, we're going over to Boxy's show, so stay tuned. Of course, for those on mobile, you get a quick link prompting you to accept, and you'll get transferred over.
I just literally got an email from Xbox saying I can pre-install Starfield.
Yes.
Oh, I've already done that. and shout out to Tony Okami, is it, on in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, just say, by the way, I get the feeling my Xbox 29 has his feet in a water massage machine right now. No, but if I did, I certainly would.
Yeah.
If I had one.
And after the show, of course, tomorrow we've got a breakdown of all the best and worst announcements of the showcases. So tune into that as well. That should be fun. But for everybody else, hope you have an awesome evening. And we'll see you over at Boxy Show very shortly.
You might see me as weak,
but I will show you what lies behind my eyes.
You ready for more?
Are we done here?
Not even close.